unless they want to get a slap around the back of the head. What we've been able to take from it, now we've got to give back. We love sexy. Tip my hats to them because that is freaking full on.
Yeah. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Amanda Buckingham, the founder of WAI. Welcome to our WAI chat. Just a place that we can share, talk real stuff about our industry, gain some knowledge and get through this hard time that we're going through at the moment. It is my pleasure today to introduce Mr. Manadave, all the way from Auckland.
Hey.
Now this is a rap sheet and I'm going to read it because I really want to get it right. I can't say this off the top of my tongue actually, so I'm going to read it because it's pretty important. Redken's International Platform Artist and 5-time New Zealand Hairdresser of the Year, an artist who has won numerous international awards along with the Salon, the director and owner of Blaze in Newmarket, Auckland, New Zealand. There is no way I could do that properly off the tip of my tongue. It's an amazing rap sheet there, Mr. Manadave, and welcome to our WAI chat. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Hey guys, what's up? No, I'm really happy to be here with everyone, and it's really lovely to hang out with you. And thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this. I am always about anything that allows our community of hairdressers to come together, irrespective of our brands. I think, like we align with whom we align with because they fit our values. But when we drill down below that, the huge tribe that we actually belong to is the tribe of hairdressers. It's our hair community. And I feel that anything that aligns with that has got to be a good thing. So it's my absolute privilege and pleasure to hang out with you today.
You are so right. And that's exactly what we're doing, is just sharing good knowledge, keeping it real. And keeping it real, I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions. Not really much to do with our industry, but kind of a bit of an icebreaker. And maybe we'll find out a little bit more about you, huh?
Okay, go for it.
What is your favorite music playlist album at the moment?
Right now, this is going to sound really crap. It's actually just one from the Salon. It's literally one from the Salon that we created, and I just play it because it's convenient. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just there so I can play it. And that's like my background music when I'm working out.
Nice. And probably reminds you of being in the Salon, huh?
Yeah, actually, you're probably right. You are probably right, yes.
Scuffs or slippers?
Actually, neither. It would be just a pair of socks. Like, I'd rather walk around in a pair of socks. That's just my thing.
Favorite word or saying? You're allowed to swear.
It would be, what is my favorite saying? I think, does that make sense?
Does it make
like I use it all the time, and I know it drives some of my staff crazy, but I use it all the time.
Well, it's a pretty direct question, so it doesn't make sense,
Yeah, then I feel I can get stuff like a lot faster, and I like that.
Yeah, cool. Favorite drink?
If we're talking alcoholic, then it's definitely an espresso martini. If we're talking coffee, then it's an almond flat white.
Yum. Oh, I really miss my flat white.
I know. Same. That's going to be my first thing. I'm going to get a coffee.
I know. If you got a new pet, what would you call it?
Probably. Actually, I don't. For some reason, like I remember as a kid, I had a cat. This was like really when I was a kid, and the cat's name was Snowy. So if I got another animal, even if they weren't white, I would call them Snowy.
Nice. What are you scared of?
I don't like the dark. Like, really don't like the dark. Yeah, at all. Do not like it.
So you sleep with the light on? Do you have like a little...
No, not so much that, but I won't go into, like, I don't like going into spaces that are dark.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the claustrophobia factor, but like just darkness, me and darkness, not good.
No, fair enough. If you could choose a celebrity to go on a date with, who would it be and why?
This probably wouldn't be so much more of a date as just someone I would love to be around. It would be Oprah. Like, she's always been for me someone that I think iconically represents that whole classic story of coming from nowhere, coming from nothing, and then really like living to their fullest potential. So purely because of that and knowing where she's come from, what she's overcome, I would want to be around that energy. Like, because if you hung out with her, it couldn't help but rub off on you. And I want some of that. Yeah. So it would be Oprah.
Yeah, she's pretty cool, right? Pasta or rice?
Definitely rice. Like, I love pasta, but I'm all about trying to find carbs that are a bit more carb friendly.
And if you could give someone a virtual hug, who would it be?
Who would it be? Actually, right now it would probably be one of my youngest nieces. Yeah, because I've seen her online and stuff, and it's quite hard to talk to because she's little and she keeps running around. But I don't know, there's something I would really want to give her a hug, because there's something about being with her that just feels very much like family. Yeah, that's probably what I'd want. Yeah, love that. Love.
Yeah, I miss hugs. I'm a real hugger, and when we went into level 3, when we came into this whole situation, I was like, oh, I can't just go and kiss someone. I can't just grab them, you know. I've got to be quite respectful and mindful. It's real hard for me because I'm real touchy-feely.
I'm the same.
I'm going to struggle for a wee bit.
Yeah, and I think even when we go back into the salon space with level 2, for people like us and hairdressers in general, because we're so tactile, I think that's going to be something that we're going to have to kind of figure out about what feels right and what feels okay, still working within the parameters of operating at level 2 in our spaces. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to kind of navigate and work through. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so that's the silly questions, my dear. Thank you.
Love.
We now know who you are. Tell us a little bit about Blaze, hun. Like, you not so much your business model, but you know, how old is Blaze now? Like, you know, how many
Blaze we've had now, I think we've had Blaze for about 13. It might be going on to 13 and a half. It's a bit blurry now. Maybe it's like 13 and a half years. And then within about 8 years ago, we opened our second salon called Professionnel, which is also in Newmarket and on Broadway, literally about 150 meters down the road from Blaze. Yeah. So it is really interesting for us because a lot of people go, why would you open 2 salons so close together? For us, there were a couple of different reasons, and it has actually worked in our favor, particularly with the current scenario that we're in, because we've got 2 sites that are really close. Pre-lockdown, for me as an owner, it made the whole thing about managing 2 sites a lot easier. You know, so if there are any issues between it with like staffing or like regret, I know someone's like sucked up all the light now. We're like, where's the damn light now? We've got 2 sites that are so close together that we had the ability to really come up with solutions quite quickly. So definitely from a management perspective, that's been really interesting for us. But the other thing as well too, like with Blaze, obviously we have a very strong alignment with Redken. So we're purely a Redken salon. With Professionnel, our back basin we've aligned with Kerastase, and then for our chemical we've aligned with Redken. But we also have the opportunity to retail a wide range of products in Pony. So geographically, it's really allowed us to be able to manage things a lot more easily. But then in terms of what we can offer our community and our clientele, having the 2 sites separate but close has really created some amazing opportunities for us. And then between the 2 sites we have, including like support team, we have like 16 people that make up the team for both sites.
Yeah, amazing. And that would be extremely helpful if you are lacking staff in one as well. You can shift them, you know, which would be really valuable.
And especially like, as I was saying before, like with going back, one of the things that we're going to do is that we're going to operate 2 teams it'll be 1 team at each site. And we've already set up with the guys initially for those first few weeks when we go back, even though we know that they actually want to all get together, we can't. Like, we literally have to operate quite separately. Normally the guys will kind of float between the two sites, like when they have lunch breaks, they'll pop up the road because it's so close. It's like a 3-minute walk. Or if we run out a bit of light, and someone go, could you please run us down some light now? The order's not coming in for another hour.
Yeah.
When we go back, a lot of those things that we were able to do before, we're going to steer away from that and keep them running quite separately. So, worst case scenario, if anything was to happen at one site and someone got ill and we had to make the team self-isolate again, we've still got the opportunity on some level to still be operating.
Yeah.
That's one advantage for us, definitely.
Yeah. And Mana, when you were organising this, with the team of 16, have you guys kept in contact on a weekly basis to kind of set these processes up so everyone's very clear?
Yeah, definitely. When we kicked off, like, we were on the first few days of lockdown, like on that Monday. Once Blaze closes on the Monday, but Pony is open. So, and Pony always runs a smaller team. So we had just a couple of people working at Pony that day, Blaze being closed. It helped us in the sense that at least we had fewer people on that specific day to be worrying about. Mm-hmm. The flip side of that was that there were fewer people to kind of draw from to look at everything, because Kelly and I were just going, what does this mean? Does this mean we close today? There were all of those kind of things. But what we did do is that with the team that we had operating, we were able to just get in as many people as we could on the Monday to close things off, because we had so many just random people that were ringing in asking if they could get in because of what they'd heard. So that was one advantage for us. And then on the Tuesday, we pulled everyone together and had a really big team meeting, just so that the guys understood specifically their needs. It's like, we were worrying about the clients, but what we wanted to do was have the conversation with them about their money. So they knew very clearly what money was going to look like for them over the weeks that they were going to be entering into. And then things like, we're going to be catching up. So it will look like this, and then as we go along, it's going to evolve. So initially, we were still in contact all the time in our Facebook group that we have and via Messenger, but we started off with just a weekly meeting. And to be really honest, a big part of that rationale was we kind of wanted everyone just to have some space to settle in.
Yeah, important.
And I think that, we didn't want to go, okay, guys, we're doing this and we're doing this, like, straight off the bat, because it was like, actually, we need you to kind of find your groove in your new normal now, for a little bit. Because Kelly and I, as the business owners, we have to find our groove as well too. And there are still a lot of logistical things that, even though we've closed the salon, we're still needing to kind of work our way through and set up so that the teams, first off, they're safe, that our clients feel safe, and then the salon spaces are safe. And then as the weeks have gone by, we've then incrementally added different things to increase the level of contact with the team. We've increased our training levels. We've bumped up our social media content that we've been releasing. But and I know that's quite different to some teams. Some teams were just straight into it. And to me, there isn't a right or wrong. It's all about just knowing your team and what they need, knowing what you as the business owner need as the leader to be able to do your job, and then also just to make sure that your clients are getting what they need. And the reality is that the only person that really needs to know what you need to do for your business is you, because you should know your business. Yeah. Now, if you don't know your business, that's when you can hit some hurdles. Yeah, because that's the one thing that you need to know. You need to know your team, know your business, know your clients, because then you can pull from all of the things that you're hearing around from everywhere and just go, okay, what does my team need? What does my business need to be able to kind of work through this? So for us, we didn't like jump straight in. It's been really an incremental kind of thing. I think we still kept our regular team meetings. In fact, the one that we had this morning with the guys, we set them up to go, okay, so guys, this week, this is what this week is going to look like. And we only really want to go week by week because we don't want to overwhelm them. No. We just want them to know this little chapter, this is what it's about. So this week, the training daily for them has kind of increased to about 4 to 5 hours. And that includes like some period in there where they go away and have a break. And we've explained to them the why behind that, because we said to them, look, potentially, depending on when we do go to alert level 2, we're either going to be opening in 3, maybe 4 weeks. So we need now to help build the momentum and your stamina. Because the minute we're back in there, it's on. And if you're not used to like doing hours yet, by the time we land there, you're going to do one day and you're going to want some more time off. You can't do that.
Right. You need a holiday. I totally agree with you, Mana. We were very similar. We I think that real, it's something we've never experienced before, right? Like Christchurch and has had some terrible disasters and possibly a little snippet of what it's like to work remotely, but most of us have never done that. And you're right, easing into it, but also being productive coming out of this as well, or leading into coming back to the salon. We were the same with our team. We gave them, just nice tasks like experiences to share on Facebook and a few sites to be training from. And then we have now started to look at what our bookings look like, how we're going to manage that going forward, and the best outcome for us as a team. So I agree. I think it's time now to really start looking at that and getting our staff prepared. Because like you say, when people coming in on the first week going, oh, I'm really tired, I need to go home.
Oh, no. I already told my team they can't say that to me unless they want to get a slap around the back of the head. It's like, so like relish the time that you have now, use it productively. When you have downtime, then celebrate it and just really enjoy the fact that you have that now. But you're right, like for all of us, everyone in our industry, the minute we get to alert level 2, it's about the business of building your business, building your team, taking care of your clients, and making some revenue so we can all keep going. So, we've really set that up clear. That's what it's about the minute we open those doors.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Mana, you have a really strong business partner as well, and I know that you've been in business a long time. For a lot of us, we needed to reach out and get help, whether that was the subsidy or talk to a mentor. Have you had any advice out of your team that you've really taken on board and can share?
I think like for us, it's been, we're quite lucky, like Kelly and I as business partners. It's nice because we're a really good yin and yang. So I'm really strong in some areas, she's really strong in some areas, but we are really clear on our mission and our goals. So between the two of us, we've got different skill sets to pull from. But then we also have like a business mentor who isn't from our industry at all. So the advice that they give us is purely about looking at numbers, looking at the different business like formulas, all of those kind of key things that really aren't specific to our industry. They're just about, look, your bottom line. This is what you need to look at, so it's the kind of advice that would work for any industry. So having someone that can kind of help guide us through all of that stuff has been really beneficial. But totally, the big thing was, and we've always operated our business from this perspective. I think because Kelly and I have always come from quite humble beginnings, I don't want to over dramatize it, but I know what it's like to come from nothing. And so because of that, when you get something, even if it isn't like a big something, I think you're very aware that you've got to have people around you that can help look after that something. So from like as we've had the business over the 13 years, I feel that we've been very frugal with our money. Like we're not flashy people. We don't go and spend it on lots of stuff. The money that's in the business is in the business. The money that I live off as my wage from working for the business, that's me. But it's very separate. And so because of that, we've been really lucky that we've been able to, just put away money for the rainy day, which has meant when we've landed here, we've been in a position where we've been able to have like a good pool to help tide us through. But that's not anything glamorous or different. It's just we saved a lot of money and put it over there. Here's the thing, that money's going to run out. We set our team up for that as well too, so that they know, look, we're really blessed to be in this position. We've been able to, you know, over the years just save money and save money. But that pool of money is gonna shrink. It is shrinking. So because what we're doing to look after you, to top you up, to keep you going, you've got to know that when we open again, all of us need to help to put back in to the pool of money.
Yeah.
Because that pool has taken care of all of us during this time frame.
Yeah.
So it's a give back thing. We've been able to take from it. Now we've got to give back. So I don't know if that's a life-changing piece of advice, but I think so many of the things that really help us are just really simple things, like save your money.
Yeah.
Spend it where it makes an impact for your business.
Yeah. And be transparent, you know, and this is why I love talking to likes of you, Mana, because transparency and being able to be upfront and honest and deal with what is happening right now is so important. We have, I think, not so much now, but for a long time our industry felt like, oh, can't share, or I don't want to say that I'm in trouble or that I don't have much money. Tell someone. That little bit of advice or that little tweak to your budget or whatever it might be can make a huge difference in going forward. And, yeah.
And one of the things, like, and I know that this is look, I think you know, I'm really aware of the fact that this, for a lot of people, this is a really challenging thing. But the one thing that I am so certain of for everyone that's in our industry and everyone that is able to come through this, it will change your perspective on your money.
I agree.
And that's what I love about this for our industry, because I know there are unfortunately, and I think this is like a lot of businesses that are very creative, a lot of us just get really hooked on all of the pretty things that make what we do look really lovely and amazing, and potentially shift our finances into things that are lovely but don't really add to your bottom line.
No.
And bottom line gives you structure and it gives you security, but bottom line doesn't always look very sexy. And as hairdressers especially, we love sexy.
You're so right.
Oh my God, I want that.
Yeah, shiny
we want that. Yeah, and I get it. And I think that is definitely, you know, and I'm being very generalized here, but I think for our industry specifically, it is something that we kind of get very sidetracked by. You know, we want to bring it back to the fundamentals. Like, what is the revenue that you make? What does it cost you to make that revenue? What is the difference? You know, is there overflow? Yes. Are you underflowing? You know, are you spending more than you're making? And I feel that Kelly and I have been very blessed that since we've had our business, we've had someone from the very beginning that is all we talked about. Are you making more than you're spending? That conversation is freaking not exciting.
No, it's not exciting.
It's not sexy.
Nor a spreadsheet, nor a budget, but that's so important.
But fundamentally, you know, when we take away the commodity and the service that we provide, if you're looking at it from a business perspective, that is the singular, most important conversation that you must have. How much are you making? How much are you spending? Create a variation between those two things that gives you surplus. Then you have more money to spend on the pretty things if that's what you want to do. But if you don't have that surplus, don't focus on the pretty things.
I love it. And I love tackling things with solution, right? So when there's a problem, there is always a solution. It may not be, it's not an easy solution, but I think you're right. We've, as an industry, we've been able to now stop and reflect on what we've done, where we're going, how we're going to do that. And that's success in my eyes, as if you have had the time to be able to work on that, it's the most single thing that is valuable right now.
Agree. Totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Now, you would have had a 2020 calendar planned to probably be traveling all over the world. How have you been affected? Hugely.
Well, yeah, there won't be any traveling, but I'm okay with that. I think, I guess even domestically, it'll be interesting to see when we will be able to just travel domestically. And if they end up doing, I know some people were that there were talks about, creating like an Australasian bubble between Australia and New Zealand so that we could still have the ability to travel. So it will be really interesting to see how that goes. But I think for me, the biggest thing is it will mean that we will get the opportunity, probably initially for quite some time, it will give us the opportunity to master the skill of this.
That was my next question. Yeah.
But I feel like there is definitely this platform. I think just specifically for our industry, I think our industry, unlike internationally, has been kind of a bit slower to jump on board with this medium. So I think it will mean that a lot of us who are involved in education in some way, shape or form, it'll force us to channel our expertise into understanding how to use this platform and this media to still do the things that we want to do and help to impact our industry in a really positive way.
Yeah, I think so too. And you're right. It is quite new, to New Zealand. But it is just as informative, and just as, I know we're not tactile, we can't feel you and we can't hug you, but I think that we can still learn a lot, and I think it's encouraging. It's also too, Mana, I think a sustainable way to educate your team and not have to put a lot of finance in when we don't have that extra surplus. We don't have those shiny things right now.
Yeah, I'm so about that. Yeah, I love the fact that it gives, this is the thing that's always been amazing about that platform, that, that we, even though we weren't utilizing it to its fullest extent, the accessibility that you now have either to your clients or to your team through this medium it's just crazy good for us. So I think if we can all find our way to navigate through understanding how to use it in a really impactful way, there are going to be some great benefits for the people that are open to the challenge of learning how to use this.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, good point. I think it would be lovely. I might just share with our group, whoever's watching at some point, just how to do a Zoom. It's one of the most easiest things to set up, but it's also really beneficial and real time. But also, Mana, I'd love, if you wouldn't mind, could you share? I'll put them up at a later date, but maybe some online education that you are enjoying at the moment, or something that's going on within Redken that our industry would love to see. That would be awesome.
Well, something that I've been working on with our local Redken team, so our Redken New Zealand education team, we really wanted to make sure that there was a platform that was specifically geared for our Kiwi industry. Obviously we have our salons and our stylists are part of our Redken tribe, but it was beyond that. It was about making it specifically Kiwi, because there is a lot of really great international education, but I don't know, as Kiwis, I think there is something that we really love about having something that's just our own. I think, it's a very Kiwi thing, and I feel for us when we're in situations and environments that are really unsettling, as Kiwis and as a country and as a nation and as an industry, we feel much more secure when we know there is some kind of Kiwi dimension to it. And I really felt that was something that we had to try and find a way to provide that. So going live from next Tuesday, which will be the 28th, for the next 6 weeks, Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock, there is some online education that's available to anyone. You can just send me a DM, and I can make sure that we get the Zoom. No, sorry, it's Teams. We're doing Teams, I think. Yeah, we're doing a Teams link, and there's the opportunity, I think, for there to be up to 200 people that can take part in each session. And it's really just it's starting with real fundamentals. Like, you know, it's kind of like that conversation we just had, but about how, you know, that when you look at your business, the fundamental of it is, how much money do you make? How much money does it cost to make that money? What's the variation? Like, that's not sexy, but understanding that fundamental, when you get it right and the balance is right, you have the ability to have the pretty things. So our approach that we're taking with our online education is to go back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
To really look, like when you're looking at color, really break down that color wheel so you're good when you go back into the salon. You feel like you're really anchored. You're going, okay, it's been 8 weeks, I haven't done hair, but for the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've been going over my fundamentals again to just really lock them in. So I'm in a really great headspace when I go back in. And that's kind of our rationale, is to go back, tap into those fundamentals, and then over the next few weeks, throw in all the pretty stuff that as hairdressers we really, really like. Because we do, we love the pretty stuff.
But I think it's so important at any part of your journey, right, as a stylist, is sometimes you kind of go out of the box for a while and then you go, shit, I can't remember how to do that, you know. But often when we go to creative sessions, we're just like, oh yeah, you know, let's do this. But it's actually like, I don't even know how to cut a solid form yet. Or I don't even know how to counteract on the colour, whatever that may be. And sometimes we feel a bit shy to go, I don't know how to do that, you know, or I wasn't taught that way. So that's really cool. I will definitely be sharing that, because I think you are right, and I have the same passion that I think our online platforms will play a huge part in the future of learning for us, you know.
I do. I totally agree. Yeah. And I do like the fact that with online, it also allows you to kind of, you know, like get a sneak peek at what other brands are doing. So you can, it's like anything. So you get a smorgasbord and you can just figure out, okay, with everything that's available to me, who's speaking to me in a way that resonates with me, or the values of their approach. Well, from what I can see, what's really resonating with me. And that was a conversation that we had today on my live that I did, with the lockdown corridors that we're doing today at 11 o'clock earlier in the day. I said to everyone, look, I just need you to know who I am so you can see if the way I am with you, the way I speak, the way I explain things, you know my values and my why about why I do the things I do. But there are lots of people that have very similar whys to me. You know, their goal, their mission, it's similar, but the way they bring it to you and present it to you, their way might resonate more with my way. And that's not a bad thing, but your job is to figure out which resonates with you more. My job is to tell you and show you who I am and what I'm about, and then you can pick from the different things that are on the menu to figure out what's going to work best for you, so you can make the impact and the change that you want to make.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy, because your smorgasbord, your appetite changes all the time, right? So sometimes you really, really want that cheese, but then sometimes you actually just need to have the apple. Whatever it may be. It changes all the time.
And I think sometimes, like, I know I have my own, I've got a more gentle way of it, but then some people really like it, like they've got to hear it like this, you know, and that doesn't mean you want it like that all the time, but depending on where you are, you'll know, I need to hear it given to me in this way if it's going to land with me. So I feel that's a big part of it. It's just really kind of getting a gauge on where you're sort of at. That makes a big difference. Yeah, for sure. I just think that, you know, in our world now, with the new norm, it's just important to share off, like you say, any company or any artist that is providing value, like you say, pick that value and turn it into your way and just learn from it. So I think that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, actually. And if you don't mind, we will sort of share that they can that's what we do with here.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're in a team, like you'll learn how that person does the fringe. You'll learn how that one does their face framing. You'll learn how this one creates graduation, and you'll pick, and then you'll put it together yourself. And you go, oh, well, this is what I've got now. So it's the same idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about hair, What are you loving, or what are you going to love going back to, as far as what have you seen lately that you can't wait to get your hands on and kind of try? Or what have you enjoyed doing?
Well, my specialty is colour, so I really, really love colour. But I have to admit, I've been watching a lot of, oh God, that's terrible. I can't think of the name. It is Aftermath Education.
Yes.
Yeah, which
too.
I've loved. Yeah, like and it's not even just about, it's just because there's so much scope. And it's an amazing platform. And I can never say his name, Kobe. I'm just going to call him Kobe because I can never pronounce his last name. Him and Adam, whose name I also can't pronounce. But
we'll find
I know it's terrible. Yeah. Anyway, the cool dudes. And I think the thing I love about it is that they've brought together people from all over the world, from different disciplines, from different brands, and it's just about like getting excited about here. And even though, like, from my teeny tiny apartment, I haven't had the ability to do anything because I don't have mannequin head, I don't have doll heads or anything. It's just seeing here, which I don't know, I think it's for everyone when you're a hairdresser, just seeing here, watching hair being done. For us, there's something that is very reassuring and comforting about that. So it's just been exciting seeing people, seeing what their flavour is, seeing what they love, and just going, wow, I love this, I love that. And then, so it's just been, I think, having the exposure to so many different things from a hair perspective, which has been really amazing.
Do you know what I loved about Aftermath as well? It was like, you know, there's no budget, right? We're all doing this from all parts of the world. It was just, it's raw and it's so cool. You know, you and I both know it's very difficult to get a whole lot of creatives like that in one platform and share. It's tough. So I think they did such an amazing job. So yeah, I'll definitely be sharing that too, Mana.
Oh my God. They are so clever. Like, I'm just like, I don't even know how they are doing all of this. Like, I know how challenging it is for me to still be looking after my teams, you know, making sure our businesses are ticking along nicely within lockdown, and then juggling the other bits and pieces. So for them to pull all of this together within the midst of what they're dealing with, I tip my hats to them, because that is freaking full on.
Yeah, me too. I get it too. We're the same. No, I think they've just been fantastic and very inspirational.
Yeah, totally.
So, back to work soon, let's hope.
Let's hope. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit, I have to be really honest. I think, like, I know they've talked, you know, about May 12 as being an approximate date, but in my mind, I'm not locking onto that. I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe it's going to be 1 week later, just so I don't get so fixated and then disappointed on a date not happening.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was the same thing with this Monday just gone. Like, I knew that they were going to have to probably stretch it out, but in my mind, I'd become so fixed on the date that when the date shifted, I was like, oh, okay. And I think anything that just allows you to help not kind of experiencing that kind of disappointment is good. So yeah, so maybe it's the 12th, maybe it's going to be the 18th, but I've kind of, I've just kind of think it's going to be this sort of approximate time frame.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited for us to be able to kind of get back to doing what we all really love and enjoy, and also see our clients again. Like, those are real relationships.
Definitely. And it's a lovely feeling. Like, I know our team have been in contact with quite a few clients just over the last couple of days, and you can hear it in my staff's and my team's voice. You know, they're like, oh, I talked to such and such and she's so excited. And, you know, it's a really nice feeling to know that we're loved.
Oh,
you know?
no, it's so true. Yeah, it's so true. Our front of house team has been in contact with clients daily, and it's just like some of the conversations have been like an hour. Like that. That's how much they really miss us. And I feel that this has just showcased that it's about the relationships that all of us as hairdressers and salon owners that we've built with these people.
That's right.
You know, you don't employ them, but they're still really part of your team.
Yeah.
And I think that has highlighted it. But yeah, it'll be really nice to get back to doing some here and speaking to the clients again.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty special. And I think it's nice to reflect and remember that, because otherwise we just continue doing the do, and we don't we're not grateful, you know, we don't reflect on that. But Mana, it has been a pleasure to have you on WAI Chat. I know you're a busy man and you've got to go. Thank you for your time. And
thank you for having me.
I look forward to watching everything you've discussed for us to view, and at some point seeing you in human flesh.
Yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. And again, thank you so much for letting me come and hang out and chat. I'm excited to see who you have on next, because I'll be following. And then to all of our hairdressing community that are watching, I'm sending you all my energy, all my love, all my thoughts, my prayers, and I want you guys to be safe. And I know that this is, even though we may not see it right now, this thing that we're having to go through, it's going to be a really great shake-up for our industry to allow us to elevate. And I know right now that doesn't seem like it, but I know that to be true. And so I hope everyone just has the ability to see it for the gift that it is, even though we are going through some hard stuff attached to that gift.
Yeah, good words, Mana. Kia kaha.
Kia kaha. Love that. Kia kaha.
Mwah. Nice to see you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, darling. Take
Stay
care,
well.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.